All right, so our conclusion with everything and just kind of an overview is so here's our alien that we designed in 3D, and the reason for this is knowing that this is most likely going to be a CG character. And now we have also what's the benefit of this, and I explained it in the chapters, but to go over it again is that we can now use this as an asset. We can show this from different angles. We can do some motion studies. We can either do the visual effects using now this as a base. We'd re-topo it and do it correctly and create the right UVs and everything like that to make it proper, and the shaders and all that stuff. But what this does is it's less guesswork. So the benefit of 3D as an overview, knowing that your creature and character is going to be 3D, is that now you have something that can be used, and it's not going to have to be interpreted by another visual effects house, production, or anyone else that may have to take it from you. Now they have something they can use one-on-one, and so the big problem that we've had in the past with a lot of projects is that there's been projects where we didn't do the visual effects, and the design was either they didn't ask for the asset, they didn't see all the different angles, and the director comes back later on and says, it's so weird. It's like, we saw the cool design that you did, and for some reason it looks so different in the movie, and I don't understand why. And a lot of that is just because if a lot of that stuff isn't applied or utilized to the client, for like an asset. So what I end up doing is a lot of times when we sculpt something, we just give it to the production because it's theirs. They basically paid for us to design it, so it's kind of part of that process. If we have to create an asset that's going to be used in production, then that's a different cost, and we spend time and we rebuild it, and that's a different. But generally, I want my design to be as one-to-one as possible, so I'll give them everything. That's including even like when we're doing 2D stuff, the Photoshop files, but that's less helpful because it's not necessarily um, a an asset that can be used. It's more just here's how the illustration may have been created from the scratch, but 3D is very beneficial for 3D visual effects. So designing 3D is kind of our go-to, and it also, as you can see, it's like it really helps illustrate this is obviously going to need a bit more finessing if it's a character on film. It's a good concept for just a basic idea, but it gets everybody like the overall feeling of what that character is going to be, and now they have something they can use. Now our 2D character, now how I saw this, and this is again going back to the original conversation we talked about, um, was this a character that is going to be primarily be a makeup, a prosthetic, and the benefits of that is again dealing with a likeness. So the alien, on the other hand, for our 3D, wasn't a likeness at all. But this may be based on an actor that has been, cast, and you need to make sure that there is some knowing that there's going to be maybe some digital augmentation here and there. You talk about what that digital augmentation, or you're told what that is. May it's the eyes, may it's the mouth, may some other aspect of proportions. But for the most part, it's going to be a lot more work to create this in 3D um, than it is to just use photographs. I mean, the time frame. Again, I think I go back to fur, hair, all that stuff. 2D is just so much easier right now. One day that will be a little different, and everything will just be easier in 3D. But where we're at right now, and also it's just again dealing with likenesses. Unless you have a scan of the actor, it's this is a good approach for something that is going to be a prosthetic with some digital augmentation. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed my presentation and my tutorials on these two methods of designing creatures and characters for film and TV. And I hope it benefits you, and I hope you achieve amazing things in the industry, and I can't wait to see what you achieve and what you create. All right. Have a good one. Take care.